Hey guys, it's Al with techmadeezy, and here they are. The two most powerful battery blowers on the planet. An insane 1000 CFM and the newly launched 880 CFM by Ego. Now guys, these are new blowers and they have a new display that shows you your fuel gauge for your battery, which is nice, and a few more things, by the way. Now, I will tell you, the 1000 CFM is commercial, and it actually has more features. We'll talk about that in a little while. But in this video, I'm going to do a detailed close look. I am going to go over detailed specs, but be aware, I will not be doing a demo because of the time of the year. I have nothing to blow right now, okay? So let's go ahead and check this out. Let's get this party started. Hi, it's Al from techmadeezy with a real quick message. I just want to let you know the video you're about to watch is not sponsored. We went out and bought the products ourselves. So, if you like our video, please give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps. Share our video. And lastly, we hope you subscribe to our channel and become a part of the family. Thank you. All right, guys, so a quick reminder again, no demos. I don't want no one being disappointed. I want your expectations to be set, but I will give you good information and a really good close look. So here's what we're covering in this video, right? We're going to do a really close physical comparison of both of these blowers. I'll do a detailed spec comparison, okay? And again, no demos. Let's move on. Let's check this out. I'm going to go ahead and start off with specs, model numbers, and pricing. And after, we're going to do a close look. I'm even going to pull out the 765 CFM and the 650, just so you could see these guys next to each other, okay? Some people have asked for that. So let's start off with the 880 CFM. I'll put some information up on the left side of the screen. So the 880 CFM starts at $269. Model number is LB8800. And if you want the kit, and I got to tell you, for 130 bucks more, it's worth it. I really think it's worth it. LB8803, and you're going to get two 4 amp hour batteries and a 320 watt charger. Now, let me stop and tell you that a 4 amp hour battery right now sells for about $160. Two of those would be $320, and the charger would be another $100. That's $420, and that doesn't even include the blower. So that's the way you get your batteries. Now, the 1000 CFM is commercial. Model number LBX1000 for $299, and currently does not come in any type of kit. Now let's dig into max air volume, and obviously that's pretty standard, right? The 880 is 880 CFM, the 1000 is 1000 CFM. That's what max air volume is. Max air velocity, a little different. This might surprise you. So the 880 CFM is 200 miles per hour with a tapered nozzle that we have on right now. Now check this out. The 1000 CFM is 185 miles an hour with a tapered nozzle. So that's kind of interesting, right? Now max blow force is newtons, just so you'll know, and we'll talk about the definition in a moment. But the 880 is 30 newtons. And the 1000 CFM is 32 newtons, by the way. Now let me bring up the definition of newtons so you could see that real quick. And you can hit pause if you want to check that out. Now let's talk about gas engine equivalent. So the 880 doesn't have any specs available for a gas engine equivalent, but the 1000 does. It's 60 cc. So pretty interesting. Now, they both have a brushless motor, so that's important. That means that the motors will last longer. And wattage, the 880 doesn't have, again, they didn't disclose at this point in time any motor wattage for the 880. But the 1000 CFM is 1,700 watts, which is interesting. Now, the variable speed on the trigger, the 880 is 270 CFM to 700 CFM. And the 1000, it wasn't disclosed. So I can't give you the breakdown on the variable trigger, by the way. Turbo obviously would be 880 CFM for the 880, and turbo runtime is 8 minutes basically. I'll try to get the battery that they mentioned for those 8 minutes for the 880 and put it right there for you. Now I will tell you on the 1000, they say 20 minutes, but again, they're not stating what battery will give you the 20 minutes on turbo with that 1000 CFM. So just so you'll know. Now I want to talk about connectivity. After this, I'm going to jump in and talk a little bit about what makes the 1000 CFM commercial, right? I'll talk about that, but let me start off with connectivity. So the 880 CFM does not have Bluetooth. There's no connectivity options, but the 1000 CFM commercial model does. So you'll be using the Ego Connect app that you see on the screen right now to actually pair via Bluetooth your Ego 1000 CFM blower. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't see the reason why I would want Bluetooth on my blower or my snow blower. But I will tell you, we just did a video on the brand new 10-inch misting fan. That can be controlled by Bluetooth. You don't have to, which is nice, but if you wanted to, you could. And that's what the image looks like on the video in the upper left-hand corner that we just did. I will put the link to that video in the video description if you want to check it out. But that makes sense, that if you wanted to control the fan and you were sitting down, laying down tanning or whatever you're doing, that makes sense. Talking about tool material, so the 880 is made of a polycarbonate material, but it also has some carbon fiber, which is interesting. Now, they don't state that it's real or, fake carbon fiber, so I'm going to assume that's real carbon fiber because Ego usually doesn't go cheap. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Now, the Ego commercial model, very different because it's got a UV resistant composite housing, and I'll talk a little bit more about commercial right after this. Now, secondary handle, it's obvious the 1000 CFM has that, and that's really nice, by the way, and we're going to take a close look at that. The LED light, again, the 1000 CFM has an LED light that you can use if you have to work late and you need to see what you're blowing. That's pretty cool. Now, let's talk about the IP rating. So the 880 CFM is IPX4, and the 1000 CFM is IPX5. I am going to pull an image up on the screen so you can see the difference between X4 and X5. And hit pause if you want to take a closer look at that. Now let me talk a little bit about weight. So tool only, the 880 CFM is 4.9 pounds or 2.2 kilograms. And the 1000 CFM is heavier. It is 7.3 pounds or 3.3 kilograms. Now lastly, let's talk about warranty. You do get a 5-year warranty on the 880 CFM. Now, batteries have a 3-year warranty unless you get a 10 amp or a 12 amp hour battery on your own. Those have to be registered and you'll get a 5-year warranty. But if you buy the LB8803 that comes with a 2 4 amp hour batteries, those will have a 3-year warranty. Now, the commercial warranty on the 1000 CFM, it's 2 years, right? You don't get 5, you get 2 years, and you have to register within 90 days. So, pretty interesting. So let me just tell you what makes the 1000 CFM commercial. All right, there's a couple of things. Number one, it's the construction. So it's built to last 5 times longer is what Ego says. Again, that UV resistant composite housing. More power. This thing's got 1700 watts. Now, we don't know the wattage for the previous blowers. They don't disclose that, but they're doing it here. Now, you're also getting that more push force, 32 newtons, right? So the most out of all of the blowers right now, you're getting more CFM, 1000 CFM. This also has the higher IP rating, right? IPX5. And they say it has commercial electronics plus active electronics cooling. So that's something I've never heard of. They say it's also fully serviceable. Now, when I think of that, and I don't know what that means, does that mean that I can order parts and fix this on my own? But I don't know if that would void the warranty. Maybe that's after the 2 years probably. But again, 2-year warranty because it's commercial. I hope that helped you. So it's time for our close look. Now, we're going to start off with the tube. So you'll see here that the 1000 CFM tube is a little shorter. And then obviously these are the tapered nozzles. So it is also thicker, as you can see. It is definitely thicker. So this is longer. This is thicker, obviously, for that airflow. Mechanisms to put the tube on is the same pretty much, right? You've got this mechanism that you can just click and put on the tube. Again, it is made of a different material, just keep in mind. So this is polycarbonate, and then this is that UV resistant material. So, again, to last longer in a commercial environment. This is all black, by the way, which is kind of cool, to tell you the truth. I like the green, but I also like the all black. So taking a look at, let's see, I'll put the 880 on. So this just slides on, as you can see, and there is a pin point here where, you just locks right in place. All right, very easy. Now let's take a look at the carbon for a minute. So the carbon seems to really be all around this section here, and this is supposed to be real carbon. I know there are people that said it's not, but Ego doesn't go cheap, and I'm going to have to say yes for now until Ego says, yeah, we didn't disclose that. So that's pretty nice. Again, put on the tube. Nice and easy. Now let's do the same for the 1000. And then we'll show you everything for both of these guys. Again, same thing, right? Locks in place. Push it in to release it. So pretty good there. Now, you'll see here that they both have a screen, which is exact, by the way, except this has Bluetooth. I'll turn on the screen in a minute. I'll show you it. This has a lock button, and this has a lock button. Now, I learned you cannot lock turbo, but you can lock the lowest setting all the way up to the highest setting. You just can't lock turbo, but you can then use turbo when you need it. Now, what's nice about the lock, by the way, is you're not going to get, your hand's not going to get tired because you have to hold the trigger. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate that. Again, turbo buttons are pretty much the same, same size, for the most part, they look the same. The one thing I noticed about the 880 is they did add more texture on the handle. So you could see down here, you've got good texture on the top for your trigger. You got pretty much plenty of room in here for your trigger. So I noticed that was one thing that was different, because when I look at the 1000, they didn't do that. Now, I don't know why, but they didn't do that. So you could see here. Again, pretty much about the same space for a hand in here as well. So just trying to really be granular about showing you things. Now, one thing I noticed too was on the commercial model for the strap, they actually made it open. So you take your strap and then basically gravity holds it in place. It does have a screw, and I'm wondering, someone asked me to see if you could add the strap handle on the other side. And it doesn't look like that. There's no area here to add it on this side if you wanted to. What if you were lefty? So you can, as you can see, again, it is open. On the 880, it isn't open. So you actually have to open up the strap piece. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. Clip it on, and then basically the strap won't come off. Now, again, there is a screw. And can we put that on the other side? No, I don't see that you can do that. So again, the strap stays on that side. But again, I do like this, I do like the texture and the grip. Does it make a big difference? I'm not sure, but that was one thing I noticed. So here's our good old standard strap for many of the Ego tools. And you can see here that if you had to open it, you just go like that, right? Very easy. But with the commercial series, it looks like they made it so that it's just gravity that's holding on to this thing. So if I go like this, that's it. I'm done. I put this on you know, my shoulder and I'm rocking and rolling. And, you know, obviously it'll come off, you know. So they must have done that for a reason, because on any other blower, you pretty much take this, open it up, and it stays on there. You know, there's just really no way for it to come off. So I did want to show you that as well. Just little differences. Now you'll see they put the word brushless on the side here. And the logo, the Ego logo. And then of course this has Ego Commercial and the LBX1000 on the bottom. And brushless is in black right there. Now check this out. So you can see now how the bottoms are. So this one here kind of stands with, you know, no battery in it whatsoever. So that's fine. And then on the commercial model, they did put a hook here. If you're going to hook it somewhere. But yet on the 880, it looks like there is some kind of hook on the bottom. And don't mind the dog hair. But it looks like you do have this kind of hook. And I'm wondering, same thing here. And there's your Bluetooth. But all right, so you have this where you can hang it, or this, which I don't think has been disclosed as to what it is. But yeah, just, you know, and again, this really stays, you know, that really, so it doesn't go anywhere. This one could, but the weight distribution is pretty nice. Now, let me also show you the air intake. So, I mean, you look at 880, right? And this is, I think, even smaller than the 765, which is interesting. So I'm going to pull out the 765 and the 650 also and kind of put them next to each other. But, I mean, look at that, right? I mean, 880, 1000. I mean, plenty of room, right? Plenty of room. Pretty cool. So here it is, the 650. You could see here, got small air intake, right? Obviously it's got this dial that you would use. 765, very popular, huge air intake, by the way. This one's got, instead of a round dial, it actually has this guy, which really makes it a little easier, right? Again, you can't lock in turbo, but you can dial and keep it there. So it really is almost a trigger lock, right? These guys act like a trigger lock. Then you go into 880, smaller air intake. I mean, smaller than the 765, right? And then, of course, the beast. The beast! And the tubes, right? I mean, if you compared the tubes, the 765, by the way, you could see, like the 650 doesn't do that, but the 765, not that that matters, right? I really don't, you know, but do these have all the hooks? So this has got this hook. This has got this hook. And they added, obviously this one's got the same, and then they added this extra one down here for the 1000 CFM. Maybe hang it in a van or whatever it is. But looking at the tubes, really, I mean, if I put these guys next to each other for a minute, you'll see, and I can see, you know, definitely the 1000 is definitely thicker. Now, one thing I noticed they started doing from the 765 CFM, by the way, is they added the connectors to protect, you know, the battery terminals, right? See these guys? So ultimately it keeps them nice and clean, which is important. A good connection is really important. Now, all of these, by the way, have this release, as you can see. So this same release to release the battery is 650, 765, obviously 880 and 1000. But this is nice. This is a nice touch. It's on obviously the 880, the 765, and of course the 1000. So, and nothing's changed battery rail wise. They look, one's black, obviously, but you could see here, so nothing's changed there that I could see. And let's now take a look at the screens. But before I do, let me show you the handle and let me show you the headlight on this guy. Then we'll look at the screens. So the handle on this is very adjustable. I mean, really, you can have it in many different angles depending on what you're comfortable with. And it's got these teeth, as you can see here, depending on the position you choose. And I actually use this position. You're just going to tighten this knob right down here. It'll tighten the teeth. And it just becomes, that secondary point really helps. So you can adjust this to what works for you, which is nice. It's a nice big handle. And it's not slippery. It's got like a plastic that really kind of grabs on. So it's not like this. Not the point of that it's not shiny. But let's put a battery in this for a minute. And I want to show you the lights. And I'm not really turning... I guess I could turn some lights off in here for a minute. Just to show you as much as possible. So this is as dark as it's going to get in here for now because I've got the lights on. You know this is the famous Techmadeezy kitchen studio. But here's your light button. And you can just, as I just did just now, I don't have to have anything else going on. I can turn on the light and you'll see there. It's decent. It's got 3 LEDs in each light. So you've got, 6 LEDs. I'll go ahead and, I don't know, I'm trying to do a demonstration for you, but, to see, it's not really dark in here, but it does a good job, if you were outside. And you know what, let me go out with this real quick and show you. So I'm just trying to get to a darker part of the yard because there's still some light here, but no big deal. So if I hit the light, you see what it does? So if it's just getting dark and you're finishing a job, that's pretty nice because I'm in a dark part of the yard now, and I can rock and roll and do what I need to do, and it really helps. You just think how far this thing goes. All right, that light just turned on, but yeah, I mean, turn it off, turn it on, and you can see it does a good job. Putting batteries on these is really easy. You'll see that the batteries have rails, right? And the blowers have rails. And all you do is take it, put it on the rails, and push it in. Take it off, you just pull this down. Same thing on the 1000. Right? This is a 2.5 amp hour battery, by the way. I would not use a 2.5 amp hour battery on a blower. I would use at least a 5 amp hour. If you need more, I would probably tell you to get a backpack link. You put it on your back, you put the dummy battery here, and you put a 10 or a 12 amp hour battery on your back. And that's really nice. I think it's time for you to see the displays, right? I mean, I left it till now. So with a battery installed, just pull the trigger, the screen turns on. Now, it really is the same screen. I see no difference whatsoever. And you'll see here that it shows that the battery installed. All right. This is your power gauge all the way up to turbo. Same thing here. And then this shows your fuel gauge for your battery, right? So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So right now we're about 80%, could be less, right? Could be 61%, and it'll still show that bar there. So let's do a sound test real quick. And then, well, let me finish up with the display. I don't want to mess with you guys. So you'll hear it, but... So you see when I pull the trigger, you'll notice this is a 2.5 amp hour battery. So it actually limits you. I don't even know if turbo will work. So I just learned something new, by the way. So I'm going to get bigger batteries for a minute, but wow, I just learned something. That a 2.5 amp hour battery will only give you 2 bars and no turbo. Interesting. I love learning. Let me get bigger batteries. So I just grabbed a 10 amp hour battery. I already put one on here. But look at this. This is 4 of these, right? But let me put this away. So that's interesting. I did not know it would only give you 2 bars. I thought it would just drain it. But yeah, these require some power. These are power plus. So let's now spend some time and looking at the screens. So we'll look at the 880 real quick. I want you to see that you can lock it, but you can't lock turbo. So if I go like this, so you just press it and it'll release it. If I am on low, this thing squeals a lot, but you saw it was actually moving on the hardwood floor. And the dog hair is flying around. But yeah, and again, I'll show you if I go to full speed. So you just can't lock turbo. So if I go like this, as you can see, it doesn't allow you to lock turbo. But again, it's crazy. But you can lock it at any setting and then use turbo when you need it. Same thing applies for this big boy. Okay? So tap your screen. Again, same screen, right? Put it on low. I want to do something real quick. So you see how quiet this is on low and how noisy that is? That's interesting. Again, this is, I knew I had a script to do this video. I just didn't know that I would be experiencing certain things. So I'm going to put this on low and then I'll put this on low. You know what? I'm going to get a noise meter. I'll be right back. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop for a minute so you can see the normal environment. I am going to do low, high, and turbo. Then I'm going to stop. I'm going to move the 1000 closer and do the same. It's pretty interesting. And again, some people just want to know. Such a squealy blower. Now check this out. Check this out. You ready? Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting because this was a lot lower, right? So again, since I went over this quickly, batteries present, power mode, your battery gauge, and obviously when you lock, when you use the lock, it actually shows a lock in the corner.
All right, guys. Well, I sure hope our video helped you in some way. And if it did, do me a big favor and give us a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate that. And hey, if you could share our video with your friends and your family, that would be awesome. I'm going to put my social media channels right up top. If you want to follow us on social media, go right ahead and send us a message. Let us know that you did. And hey, check out our new Tesla channel. When you get a chance, just look us up at My Tesla Journey 1. And subscribe if you can. I'm going to put a video here on the right side of the screen where my finger is. If you have time, check that out. And if you want to subscribe to our channel here at TechMadeezy, all you got to do is click this round TechMadeezy logo right there, and you'll be able to subscribe on the spot and join the family. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.